Hi, I'm Ronan Fu. I'm here to talk about Taiwan security resilience.
Ukrainian president where war might break out next.
Taiwan took, smart, brilliant. They took our business
China
away.
is rapidly expanding its nuclear arsenal.
So basically, he got some parts right. China has been threatening Taiwan. We are facing part asymmetry both in terms of population, economic size, military capabilities. But something went terribly wrong. Actually, what the war demonstrates is the difficulty of mobilizing forces and getting everybody united, getting ready for the war. It shows the difficulty, not the easiness of winning on the battlefield. I do believe that the likelihood of a war on the Korean Peninsula is actually higher than that of Taiwan Strait. But overall, I think that the likelihood in both cases remain extremely low. If North Korea dares to actually pick a fight with South Korea is going to win a war, despite the fact that North Korea actually possesses nuclear weapons. Actually, the North Korean side, they are trying to play, it's actually a strategy of brinkmanship. I'm extremely rational. I'm just play the game so that you believe that, hey, I'm dealing with an irrational person, so I better offer him or she something solid. I don't think that's gonna increase the likelihood of a Chinese aggression against Taiwan. If North Korea got invaded, China needs to come to North Korea's rescue. China cannot open up battlefield against Taiwan. Korean Peninsula, Taiwan Strait. We are not going to see a war in the next 5 years. But beyond this time frame, Taiwan needs to get ready. Just like South Korea is getting ready every day for possible North Korean aggression. Yeah, so if ChatGPT were to be my student, I'll fail this person. Actually, according to various different predictions, Taiwan will be invaded actually back in 2023. If they're right, then we're screwed. But hey, we're still here, safe and sound. Even Xi Jinping, he actually provides a timeline for the POA to get ready. And the time that he sets up for POA is 2035. So 2026 is deadly wrong. If you like the video, smash the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. We all know that regardless of what Taiwan's national leader says, unless Taiwan's national leader express the willingness to be adherence to the one China principle, otherwise they will always be nitpicking. But under the following conditions, a Chinese aggression is likely to be observed. Number one, if Taiwan were to declare independence, they also mentioned that if they observe a foreign military force presence in Taiwan, they're going to do something. We want to create a condition that the Chinese side, they can convince the domestic audience, hey, even if Taiwan doesn't behave, I know ways to keep them in line. I don't really have to resort to military forces. We have to think about the grander scheme of things. As for the Taiwanese side, how to create a condition that we can make everybody arriving at a consensus. Taiwan also need to think about the international game. For example, Taiwan can actually participate in some meaningful international collaboration. You can enjoy your playing time without antagonizing China. We also need to make sure that we don't appear to be a troublemaker in the eyes of American decision maker. And also we are valuable enough for them not to abandon us. It's very hard, but for someone who's able to figure it out, that person can actually win the Nobel Prize. China is unlikely to resort to military force against Taiwan during Trump's next term. They are extremely worried that in Trump's second term, he might continue to sell useful forces to Taiwan, and he might even maintain some high-rank official exchangement between Taiwan and the US. Actually, during the Trump administration, the arms sale from the US to Taiwan is large on the large-scale side. That sort of significantly enhanced Taiwan's national defense capability. Taiwan will be deemed as important to US national leader, even from the economic side of the story. But in the case of Trump, his way of doing business as a very successful business person, Trump is trying to create some unpredictability so that, some people or some countries will get nervous, so that they will rush to Washington, D.C. asking, so what is the price tag I'm willing to pay, right? So that's how basically the entire rationale behind the Trump administration and Trump himself in particular. Despite the fact that Trump talks about Taiwan in the sense of doing business or in a very, transactional way, which might, make a lot of Taiwanese people upset. But the silver lining, this person won't abandon Taiwan for no reasons. If he wants to abandon Taiwan, it must be the case that after some calculation, right? So if you think us as a commodity, yeah, so be it. We'll get ready. So we're not going to rob the bank. I think Taiwan is rich enough so long as we can increase our military spending to 3 or maybe 3.5. I think we are pretty safe in terms of paying the bill, covering the bill. We can do that. No, I don't think. That kind of description is very naive. Right now, everybody is relying on TSMC, but we are not sure whether this status quo will remain forever. I can assure you that Trump administration, they will try to find alternatives. They will not let TSMC to enjoy the role of monopoly forever. Sometimes dependency creates protection. Sometimes it doesn't. It all comes to the scope condition under which if we can convince the national leader or the decision maker that the benefit you coming in is way higher than the cost that you are going to pay. So Taiwan also need to bear that in mind or take that into consideration. Here we go. Clue number 1. The country has a city mayor who went missing amid allegations of being a spy for China. Clue number 2. This country and China each claim that others' vessels are causing damage to their coral reefs. Okay, clue number 3. Its leader congratulated the inauguration of Taiwan's presidency, meaning Lai Ching-te, this year, but later apologized after opposition from China. I want to make it very clear that I'm very bad at playing games and I'm not very good at memorizing, facts. So I'm going to go with Malta Reefs. Reveal the Philippines. Okay, I got it wrong. Okay, the answer is the Philippines.
确定一下，你刚刚在做效果吗？
对啊，我知道答案啊，我知道答案啊，
你如果觉得知道什么，你就讲，不用故意答错，没关系。
太好玩啊。Okay, so guess the country number 2. We also have 3 clues. This country was the first to ban TikTok and the other Chinese apps like WeChat and Shein. Number 2, this country has no direct flights with a global superpower, even between their capitals, 2 years after COVID restrictions were lifted. Number 3, this country has an ongoing border dispute with a global superpower, which led to a modern warfare using sticks and shells. Okay, India. But I want to correct some informations. Global superpower, usually the consensus is that the US remains the sole global superpower. We just have to get rid of the global, this word. A lot of people are saying that Moody is trying to send the signal to Beijing. New Delhi is going to engage in conditional cooperation with China. Number 1 is China's attitude in terms of territorial dispute, China has to stop pushing India around, even if it's only using sticks and shots. India is thinking about a greater game. It's also about the US and Russia. India is trying to be the pivot among all these important players. And Beijing is a crucially important actor when it comes to the strategic planning. So that's the reason why they are doing this for some strategically important reasons. China is trying to create investment opportunities and trying to create more trade ties with a lot of countries ranging from Africa, Asia, and Europe. And the reason for that is because China is currently facing the problem of overproduction. So need to find new buyers, using money, using investment, using loans to create some dependency so that these countries will be reliant on Beijing, so that they will have policies that are more in favor of Beijing and sometimes against Taiwan. But let me just say this, all the investment spent by China, sometimes it won't pay. So in the case of Sri Lanka, China was able to strike a deal with Sri Lankan national leaders. They will have the access to a port 99 years. And that's gonna upset the US effort in terms of the deployment in the Asia Pacific. But if you look deeper, actually China becomes less secure. Because of the close interaction between Sri Lanka and China, now India's national leader, they got very cautious. Hey, China is doing this. It's sabotaging my role as a regional hegemon, and I need to be very aware of that. So to China, it's not a win-win. It's like a total failure.
The issue of representation for all of China, including Taiwan, in the United Nations and international organizations has been completely resolved. It has also thoroughly blocked any possibility of two Chinas, or one China, one Taiwan.
To be honest, the Chinese interpretation of the UN resolution is deadly wrong. The resolution was issued in 1971, and the main purpose is twofold. Number one, PRC is the sole legitimate entity that is the representative of entire China. Number two, the resolution also says that they are going to kick out of Chiang Kai-shek's ambassador. Nothing to do with Taiwan statehood, nothing to do with Taiwan's international participation. So that's the reason why you see a lot of countries are fighting back.
United Nations Resolution 2758 is very short. The word Taiwan does not appear. The resolution switched representation in the United Nations from the representatives of Chiang Kai-shek to the representatives of the government of the People's Republic of China.
We also need to garner domestic consensus. The Kennedy perspective believed that there's still the issue of China's representativeness. DPP and I would say the mainstream, we actually know that it's a dead end. In practice, I'm not going to fight China's representativeness with you. But at the same time, I'm not going to invent something new. I'll just be the ROC in or on Taiwan, whatever the name you want to call it. So we are going to just stick to the de facto independence unless some country using the wrong interpretation of the resolution to go against Taiwan. Then we have to make it very clear that this resolution has nothing to do with our statehood. You can mention or describe the cross-strait relations from the legal perspective. It's indeed the case that neither PRC nor ROC were subordinate to one another. I think President Ma is trying to occupy the middle position. The current Lai administration, his strategy is actually more in line with Tsai Ing-wen. Obviously, you would choose to side with the US. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that you have to be very confrontational when it comes to cross-strait matters. as of now, according to various public surveys, we don't want to be part of China. Everybody agrees that the US is the most important security actor to secure Taiwan's national defense and Taiwan's national security. In order to secure Taiwan's long-term security, here's my suggestions. Number one, getting ready in terms of the national defense preparedness. We need to increase our military expenditure, at least to the level of 3% of GDP. I also believe that Taiwan ought to maintain a very strong security ties with the US. We sometimes are being seen as a commodity. That's just a fact that you cannot ignore. But if you get ready, you make other people feel like you are very deserving, we should try to help you out, even if that comes with a significant cost. Taiwan needs to be resilient in a lot of dimensions, economically, security, and in a comprehensive manner. If you like the video, smash the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below.